honestly, I've never been on time for anything in my entire life. So I don't know why I would start now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that I, got a wild hair. I was just like, you know what I'm going to do is start being like super on time all the time. Wait a minute. Wrong microphone. See? Hello, hello. That's better. Yeah, that's better. Awesome. Welcome, everybody, to my second happy hour. Last week, we had the Dolly Rots on. We had a lot of fun. Some of you guys are on Facebook and YouTube. Those streams will be ending here in just a little while after we talk to Tony for a little bit. But remember, you can go to jarrettreddick.veeps.com and get a ticket still for today, and you can watch the show for 3 days. Remember that today proceeds are going to a charity of Tony's choice that he will tell us about a little bit later. So you get to see a 90-minute show and do something nice for some people. And so welcome. So without further ado, let's bring on my friend who I had the pleasure of meeting back in 2003, I believe, on Warped Tour. And I didn't really think that there were many people crazier than us out there in the world until I met the band Mest. And and the combination of the two, we had quite a few good times. Welcome, Tony Lovato, everybody. What's up, man?
What's up, buddy? How are you?
I am great. How are you?
Hanging in there, man. It's getting. I think we're all going through starting to get to the quarantine depression, so to speak.
Yeah. And joining you, of course, Mest, guitar player and just all around awesome dude, Adrian.
Hi, buddy.
The sweetest human being that's ever lived, and Chris Burney's favorite person on the planet, which sucks because it used to be me. But yeah, Tony. So let's just get into that right now. I mean, it's March. You have a little one at home, and at first the quarantine is kind of like, okay, right? Like, okay, we get to hang out, like we eat meals together for a few weeks, and now,
Yeah. It was fun, and it still is fun. Don't get me wrong. But there is that, like, there's like that Christmas song where they sing about the kids are going back to school. Like, and it's like, I never understood it as a kid. You understand it as a parent. And he was supposed to start school. Technically, it would have been Monday, would have been his first day back. He sort of does school all year round. It's like 3 months, 1 day, or 1 month off. He does a year round. So we have some.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So he would have started kindergarten August 3rd, and it's just a trip. Like, still got him up, cut his hair, got him dressed, took a photo in front of the house with him holding his laptop because that's how he goes to school now. And I was a little worried too, because when you put the first day, luckily they're individualizing the classes. So it's, 5 to 7 kids a day for certain days. And then Mondays and Fridays are all of them. But when you put fucking, 5-year-old, 6-year-old kids in front of a computer and tell them to pay attention, and then one kid's dropping the mic over and over again, which makes their face keep appearing on the screen, it's just fucking pure chaos.
Yeah.
But I explained it to him very thoroughly of like, if you were going back to school and there wasn't, he calls it coronavirus day.
Yeah.
I said, so you're going to coronavirus school now. And I said, so you have to sit here on the computer, pay attention, talk to the teacher, participate, just like you're in class, and you don't get to do anything until you're done. And it's his 3rd day. Well, yesterday they didn't have it. We had to go to school and pick up stuff. And I fucking signed him on and walked away. And next thing I know, he comes upstairs, Daddy, I'm done. And I was like, thank God.
Yeah.
So, but it is a lot more work for us too, because we then have to do all the work that she has for the day. And we had a meeting with her. And then it blew my mind. She's like, and then I'm sorry, but there's still homework. And I'm like, what do you mean? It's just homework at this
point. Right. Right. Yes.
But I mean, you step out of the box, and as a parent, to me, it's like the most important thing right now is making sure that he's learning and keep, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want him to get behind based on, how things have changed as of right now. And luckily, he's like really ahead with reading and stuff like that. So it's almost to the point where not like bragging on my kid, but I'm almost worried he's not going to be challenged because he did TK last year and they sort of teach the same shit.
Yeah.
But TK is just for kids that aren't old enough emotionally ready to be around all that chaos. So like the shit they're already starting out on, I'm like, fuck, like I'm gonna have to do stuff separate besides all of this.
Yeah.
To keep his focus going and learning and shit, you know. But
yeah, it's funny how that kindergarten thing is quite interesting because it's, you know, it's intro school to a lot of kids and it's continuing school for a lot of kids, but you know, it's so many different levels when they go. So they're trying to get everybody caught up, and then they're trying to engage these kids who were reading when they were 3 years old. Right. And you know, I mean, that's the thing, man. It's like first day of kindergarten. You know, you look forward to that for so long, and then here it is. Like, you know, you don't get that experience of like dropping him off and like seeing him after school, and he's so happy and he made new friends and shit. You know,
yeah, and he's already doing the. Well, Daddy, when coronavirus day is over and I have to go to school, I'm never going to see you again. And I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go. He's like, he's pretty attached. So he needs to have that to get over those. You know, like his mom picked him up just now, and it's always a little bit of tears in the eyes. Daddy, I'm never going to see you again. And like, I'll see you tomorrow, buddy. Like, you know.
When he was leaving, I was like, I love you, London.
I love you, Adrian.
Oh, my God. I was like, oh, all right, great.
It's, you know, it's, yeah, I mean, it's tough, man. I mean, I remember like the whole split home thing. We can talk about that later. But yeah, I mean, my ex and I divorced, you know, like 9-10 years ago. And man, it's like splitting Christmas, you know, like I just remember like her picking them up or me dropping them off or whatever. And like, you're just in the car by yourself and you're just like a wreck.
I know. Well, luckily so far for us, everything, like we're doing co-parenting. She comes over all the time. Her boyfriend comes over when we have barbecues. It's very much like our kids hang out together. It's just
nice.
It's a fucking big extended family. Everybody.
Yeah, good. That's amazing. I mean, and that's, you know, and I obviously I know your wife and you know, I know that she's whatever, you know, so like creating that environment to where they're comfortable being there or whatever is fucking amazing. Not everybody can do that, you know. It's not.
But we know we said always the kid comes first and our egos come second. So, you know.
Well, we're here to talk, catch up, play some music, tell some stories, man. We'd love to hear a song, and you know, so this is your cue to grab the guitars, guys.
Jump in and play. That was quick. All right, let's do this.
Yeah. No. You're just gonna do like you'll do one, and then we'll talk some more, and then I'll do one, and then we take turns.
Feels good.
In country music, they call this a song swap.
Okay. As opposed to a spit swap. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Staring at the broke street lights, some of those lonely nights, I didn't know if we would make it through. Staying up till 5 a.m., watching the sun come up again. I'd do it all again if I could. So if I call, will you be there? I miss the nights we used to share. Up on the rooftop, listening to punk rock. Nobody believed us. This could be our one shot. That was all we had. The nights that we wasted got us through the days that seemed never ending. Always in a haze, but we just didn't care. No, we just didn't care. The only place that we could go, staring at a world we didn't know, wondering if this was all we had. 40-ounce intoxicated dreams and all our fucked up memories. Well, that's what made us who we are today. So if I call, will you be there? If I call, will you be there? I'm still punk rock. Nobody believed us. This could be our one shot. That was all we had. The nights that we wasted got us through the days that seemed never ending, always in a haze, but we just didn't care. No, we just didn't care. All these nights left alone is what made us. All these nights left alone is what made us. It's what made us. Up on the rooftop listening to punk rock. Nobody believed us. This could be our one shot. That was all we had. Up on the rooftop listening to punk rock. Nobody believed us. This could be our one shot. That was all we had. The nights that we wasted got us through the days that seemed never ending, always in the haze, but we just didn't care. No, we just didn't care.
Oh man, that song is such a freaking jam. I mean, that song is a pop punk anthem. Like, I think it's just like, that is like in the, the 10, 20 songs that like every kid who likes our genre of music is like, that's in there.
Appreciate that. Like,
do you remember writing that song?
Yeah, there's that funny story about that song too, is because that came out on our third record, and it was obviously, it was somewhat around the time where the neighborhood was changing a little bit. People were getting a little bit older. A couple of friends had started going to separate ways. I grew up in a neighborhood that is very much like, I always compare it to, like, we just watched The Sandlot last night, right? Mm-hmm. And Stand By Me, like movies like that it was a generations of families and people in my neighborhood that I grew up in. My dad grew up in the house across the street that I grew up in with his 11 brothers and sisters. Then my uncle bought it, so my cousins lived across the street. There was, we had this tight group of friends, and all the people that lived with us and grew up with us since I'm talking like 6 years old, eventually worked for us and came on the road with us. So we were at home hanging out or on the road. And then time passes by, people sort of want to get real jobs, so to speak, or whatever. And so I was writing it for the third record, and the block that I grew up on raised a lot of people. So it just had that sort of concept of like so many, like, I mean, it's a real song. I sing about literally the lyrics are about that end block we grew up on, and just those nights of hanging out. And I knew that they were fading. I knew that we were getting older. I knew those days were going to be less and less. And so when I wrote it and I was done with it, I was like, fuck, this is it. This is what my life was, Yeah. And to me, it sort of spoke to, in my eyes, every other kid out there that had those friends that grew up on that block that eventually get older and you go away. And they're still, to this day, I still stay in touch with everybody, but our lives have gone on. And I remember then I showed it to Feldman, and he was just not about it. And I was like, okay. I'm like, this song's going on the record. And it was just like, so I said, fuck it. So I called up Maverick and went and had a meeting with Guy Osiri. And he's like, what's going on? I told him, I said, dude, I want this song on the record. I don't know why the fuck John doesn't. Band likes it. Everybody likes it. Played it for him. And he goes, yeah, it's fucking great. What do I have to do? And I said, call John, tell him. He goes, okay, hold on. Gets John on the phone. He's like, hey, man, what's wrong with the song? He's like, I don't know about all this, but whatever. He goes, no, man, it's good. It's going to go on the record. and that was it. Thankfully, because I think it's become one of our most popular songs, and I think
again, I was my rep from Veeps is a big Mest fan. Let's Sarah give her a shout out.
Yes, sir.
And she was just like, this song is still such a jam, and like I agree. Like I it's just one of those where this used to be one of my airplane songs. It's where I would be like, I would get on the airplane and just get situated or whatever, and for some reason I get in my chair and that put that song on, and I mean before we even knew one another. So
awesome.
But yeah, such a great one. So we'll talk about. I actually want to talk a little bit more about that. I want to ask about the Feldman thing in just a minute. But our free stream, which is going out to the social medias right now, is coming to an end. But we're going to encourage people to go to jarrettreddick.veeps.com and buy a ticket. Tell us about the charity that you chose today.
So SSFS is a charity that I got a hold of my cousin Chrissy, who grew up in the house across the street. She's a teacher now on the south side of Chicago. And so I just reached out to her and told her what was going on. And I said, find me some charities that you work with that, you can show to me and see what fits best. And so it's funny enough, they're actually from Homewood, Illinois, which Homewood used to have this place called Off the Alley. And anybody that's from the south side of Chicago or grew up in the punk rock scene in Chicago, Off the Alley was the south side punk rock place that you had to play. That was our biggest scene was there. And then Fireside was on the Fireside Bowls on the north side. But it was like where we started our career was in, Homewood, playing these little shows and shit at this rad little punk rock thing. But what they do is they just help out families with domestic violence. It's obviously a nonprofit. So any family that needs help with, and it's not just a one sort of set avenue of how they help you out. It's, they go in and figure out what the issue is and help you out, whether if there's court cases, counseling, family counseling, like anything that's needed within what falls under that thing, and it's all free for these families and stuff. And so basically it was in the south side of Chicago, and it just made sense. It was like that's where we started our career. So
man, so guys, just remember that your contributions today for your ticket is going to help them out, and obviously also going to non-working musicians and crews. So we're going to end the free thing right there. Tony, you don't do anything. So yeah, y'all go to jarrettreddick.veeps.com, and by the way, the show stays up for like 3 days. So if you can't watch the whole thing right now, you can come back and forth. So let's get rid of this.
Fuck, I can tell I haven't